Hi everyone. This is just a follow-up video for the lab we completed on Monday, the 29th of January. Um, I have the lab sheet open here from Brightspace, but basically the task was to make sure we could import buildings from CAD drawings appropriately, and then in your own time carry out a risk assessment and determine the system category for your building for your fire alarm design. So I'm going to make sure I have a couple of things open here just to do this explanation. Um, the link is available here for the drawings on or all the AutoCAD drawings that are available for you to choose from for yourself. And I'm also going to have this viewer open. So I don't have AutoCAD installed on this device, but I just need it to view some information about the drawing that I'm going to use. Um, Now I've already downloaded a drawing and uploaded it, but just to show you that process, if we were going to use something like the drawing I've used is health center. Is that it? Yeah, health center 2.1. So if you go to that drawing, you'll see there is a viewer in OneDrive, but it'll be really no use here. So I downloaded a copy of that file using the option up here and then uploaded it to this viewer. But if you have AutoCAD on your own device, it's the same thing. Um, so at the same time, I'm just going to open up Revit while I'm talking. So I'll view that drawing here in AutoCAD first, just to show you what I mean. Taking slightly longer than expected. Now, so we have the drawing here at the moment, and we're going to be importing this into Revit. And the reason for that is we need to have a drawing to build upon in Revit. So Revit's opening there at the moment. In fact, I have two instances of Revit starting to open when really I just need the one. So I'll close one of those off. So you're looking at the open page of Revit here at the moment. In the lab, we started off with a new project, and if you have access to the templates, I suggest using the electrical one. But if you do not have access to a template, that's okay as well. You don't have to use the templates; they're just handy for certain views. Yeah. So the home page of Revit is here. So we'll say a new project, and I'm going to go with electrical template. And to import a drawing into Revit, we're going to go to Insert and import CAD here. You can link the file as well, which means new changes in your CAD file will show up in your Revit drawing. But for the purpose of this, we're just going to import a CAD file. And my file is in my downloads, and it's here. It's Health Center 2-1. So like we discussed in the class, your file will show up a preview here. But the options that we have to determine are down the bottom of this dialog box. So to be preserve colors, that's okay. Do we import all the layers? I suggest we do. But the issue we came to was that we leave the import unit at auto detect and import the drawing into Revit. And we'll zoom in. It'll get imported, but it will try to import the drawing based on some sort of detection of the units used. So one way to check is to measure a known element. So for example, if I take the measure option and go across here, it's saying that a single door is currently 381. And with Revit, if we type in UN, it'll show us the units that we're actually referring to in Revit. So length is measured in millimeters. So we know now that currently it's interpreting that drawing as the door as being 381 millimeters wide, when we know that's not correct. That's not wide enough. The standard door would be typically 900 millimeters wide. So there's an issue there. So that drawing has been imported incorrectly. So I'll undo that, and we'll go down here. So if your drawing in CAD is one of these standard measurements, you can absolutely use that. But what we're going to see here is that we're probably going to have to use the custom factor to import it and scale it appropriately. So I'm just going to open up the drawing again here in CAD, and we'll see that if we zoom in on that same door and we'll measure across the door, according to the AutoCAD, this is 15 units wide for a door. So that doesn't really mean much to us because we want it in an engineering unit like millimeters. So we have to scale our drawing based on that information. An easy way to do that is to work it out based off a known dimension and the dimensions that you're importing from. So I have a calculator up here at the moment. We know that a door is typically 900 millimeters. And if it's represented as 15 units in our CAD drawing, and we have to scale that by 60 units in order to have it imported into Revit correctly. So just on that short calculation there. So going back into Revit, select our drawing, custom factor, scale it by 60 units, import it, and I'm importing it at level 0 here. So if you have multiple levels, you can put it at different levels, but 0 is okay. It's also going to import to the origin. We can do center to center if it'll place it in the middle of the image. So now here's our building imported. And if we zoom in on that same door again, measure across the width of it, we can see now it's the 900 millimeters that we expect for a single door to be. And then it also means that the rest of the drawings, or the rest of the drawing is scaled correctly. Some additional aspects that we looked at when the drawing was imported was just to make the view a bit easier for when we're building. So this is quite a large drawing, so if you want to use something of this size, you can, but you're not expected to either. Looking at the drawing, we can see here that we can look at the individual layers associated with the drawing as well. So we go to delete layers and remove different aspects of it. But one of the issues is that when we go to start drawing walls and stuff over the drawing, so WA is the shortcut for walls. Here our wall is probably just coming in at about 300 millimeters wide. So just as an example, I'm going to go to my walls, pick a 300 millimeter wall for now, just to kind of highlight what I mean by this. But going off the center line, we'll draw a section of wall down along here. Now, so we should have a section of wall drawn at that point. Shown over it. So one way to check that is in our three-dimensional drawing. Yeah, we can see that the wall's been drawn over that. So I'm just going to undo those other two walls. Now we can't really view the wall in this drawing because this is an electrical drawing. So if we want, we can duplicate that view with detailing and change its discipline into something like architectural, which by default will allow us to edit and move the wall. So you can see there I can choose it in an architectural view. I'll also create a plan view in architectural for this. Just to kind of highlight what I mean even further. So the issue is now in this part of the drawing, we can see here's our original CAD drawing, and here's the wall that we've drawn, but it starts to cover the drawing, which hides certain aspects of it. So there's two things we can do to help with that. The first one is if we select the drawing itself and type VG as a shortcut or VV into our keyboard, it opens up this visibility or graphic options. And for the imported categories, which is our drawing, if we set that to halftone, it helps kind of hide the drawing itself, but leave it still visible for us to work with. Another option that we can do on those important categories, if we want, is we can change the colors of different aspects. So, for example, thin lines, we can give it a particular color here if we want, which is helpful for identifying certain aspects, but you may not need that. The other thing that's very helpful for when you're constructing these drawings is if we select the wall option here, you'll see we can see through it when we have it selected, but not when we don't have it selected. But we can help with that by changing the visual style down here to wireframe. And now we can see the construction element we put in, but also we can see what's underneath it for when we want to place windows and doors. So that should help with the what we did in the lab. So again, the basic thing is, can you import your drawing, set it up, make sure it's scaled correctly for the next step, which is you to actually construct your building from there. Thanks very much.